The majority of Mercedes fans are still having bad memories from the last year's championship where the team lost the title in a very controversial conditions during the last race in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton's fans were disappointed to see the 7-time world champion losing his 8th title and a chance to break a world record, being the first one to realize such an achievement. Mercedes couldn't get over that bad luck and had an exceptional season, probably the worst ever. The team, who have been leading the Formula 1 Constructors Championships for 8 consecutive years between the 2014 and the 2021 season, is actually unable to win a single race during the 2022 season. The team's star for many years, Lewis Hamilton, is having one of the worst moments of his career. Mercedes rivals, especially Red Bull with their talented young driver Max Verstappen, were able to catch silver arrows and pass them by. However, some new reports are actually talking about the recent investigation about teams accused of cheating, and Red Bull is one of these teams. What are these accusations about? Keep on watching, guys. We'll be revealing all the details for you. So after closing the flexi floor cheating file at the middle of the season, the FIA is currently investigating another allegation saying that the championship leading team Red Bull cheated on the cost cap while powering Max Verstappen to the 2021 title. These pretensions came out on Friday in Singapore, talking about two teams accused of breaching last year's 145 million cost cap defined by the Formula 1 governing body. Multiple reports identify Red Bull Racing and Aston Martin as the culprit. Toto, Wolff, Mercedes team principal, who previously declared during an interview with motorsport.com that he's still thinking of the last year Abu Dhabi race loss until now. I think about it every day, how it panned out. I think I have values around fairness, especially sporting fairness. That is what provides my fundamental love for the sport, and that was kicked with the feet on that particular day. Commenting on these allegations, Toto Wolff, whose team is directly concerned, having particularly engaged in a close championship battle with Red Bull Racing last year. With the overspend is supposed to have occurred, Toto Wolff set fire on Red Bull's team principal Christian Horner, who's denying the heavyweight cheating allegations. Christian Horner has already responded to this, saying via Sky Sport that all these rumors were the first he would hear of his team being on a breach. Horner was confident of his team's legal participation and called the FIA to intervene and follow all the necessary measures. We are certainly not aware of any breach. Certainly, our submission was below the cap, and it's down to the FIA to follow their process, which they are currently doing. But Wolff blasted Horner, claiming teams knew months ago about Milton Keynes was being continuously investigated. Wolff described Horner's answer as funny and mocked up of him, demanding if he actually talked to his CFO. It's funny that Christian Horner say that, because it's been weeks and months that they are being investigated. Maybe he doesn't speak to his CFO. Wolff admitted that the FIA investigated all the Formula 1 teams, and for months, Red Bull were being investigated. Toto Wolff says this actually became an open secret in the paddock. As a matter of fact, all of us has been investigated diligently. And as far as we understand, there is a team in minor breach which is more procedural, and another team that is fundamental and massively over. The rumor mill has been going since a while, and that they are over, and they are quite a lot over. That's not from some employees, but they've been investigated now for months. That has been still looked after, so that's an open secret in the paddock. This breaking story caused an understandable commotion during the Singapore Grand Prix weekend. The FIA had to release a further statement overnight Singapore time, confirming that all its agents are following this matter from a close position and calling for calm as it continuing its measures. The FIA notes significant and unsubstantiated speculation and conjecture in relation to this matter and reiterate that the assessment is ongoing and due process will be followed without consideration to any external discussion. You might be thinking about the possible sanction this team will be facing in case investigation proves their involvement in this cheating. Well, a breach of more than 5% of this cost cap allows the FIA to intervene, and the concerned teams will be subject to penalties, including points and deduction in the drivers and constructors title, or exclusion from the championship altogether. The most extreme scenario in Red Bull's case may prevent Max Verstappen, who is inches away from his second Formula 1 world title at just 25 years of age, prevent him of winning the championship this year or take off his last year title. The Dutchman has been with Red Bull since 2016 season. He won his first race with the Red Bull at the Spanish Grand Prix, and it was a great victory. Another 30 race wins have followed since, as well as World Championship during the 2021 season. Verstappen, who came into the Singapore Grand Prix for one main reason, which is winning his second world title, celebrated with all the team this Friday his 25th birthday, which coincided with reports talking about his team's breaking budget cap regulation last season. Ryan's Twitter account mocked Red Bull Verstappen amid cheating investigations, saying at least the cake budget is low cost. Toto Wolff doesn't actually believe a title reversal could be possible, though he said he's expecting the Formula 1 governing body to apply harsh sanctions if the investigation proved the team cheated and were found guilty of breach. Especially the benefits gained in 1 year would likely follow through the gains in following seasons. I think it's not up to me to judge. and thus not realistic, but I wouldn't want to be in their position because of the impact had over 3 years. And if it's so-called minor breach that can be below 5%, you can spend 7 million more than everybody else. And that means if this is a lightweight penalty, we will be all pushing those 5% more going forward. The crucial part is if you have been over in 2021, then you have been over in 2022. That means you have an advantage into 2023. If it's true they have homologated lightweight chases this year, they might use it next year. It's really a cascade of events that can be influential in all the 3 championships. That's heavyweight, massively heavyweight. Management of the cost cap has always been a major logistical issue for the Formula 1 first-range teams, which in some cases had been spending more than twice as much as the current weight limit. With all new technical regulations for the 2021 and the 2022 season, as well as the preparation time between them, has been particularly one of the most difficult times to manage financially. Mercedes were in a very difficult situation and discussed balancing sustaining its style campaign with developing its 2022 car under the new regulations. The team had to stop improving the last year car earlier than Red Bull Racing, as Toto Wolff explained. We couldn't reduce our overweight, which is double-digit this year, because we didn't have the money to proceed the new parts and put them on the car. It wasn't there. You're fighting a totally different league if you have been pushing the limit upwards. We know there is performance on the table for this year, which is we couldn't bring. The same for Ferrari as far as I understand. So what do you think about this, guys? Tell us in the comment down below. Did Red Bull really cheat last year? If this turned to be real, can the FIA prevent Max Verstappen from winning this year's championship? We'll be waiting for the investigation to bring us the truth about this topic. That was all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.